Hey everyone, Sarah Trapani here at Whole Sky Yoga in Stone Ridge, and I'm doing a quick 10-minute practice today, focusing on the hips. I've been doing a lot of exercise lately at the gym, and my hips feel pretty tight, so let's practice together. When you're ready, we'll start briefly sitting in a hero pose. So you're gonna just sit on your heels and rest your hands on your thighs, and just take a moment to shrug the shoulders up, inhale, and exhale, let them out, let them drop. Good, one more time, inhale. Exhale, let the shoulders drop. Bring your hands to heart center and take a moment to set an intention for this brief practice together today. Anything you want to cultivate through the effort that you're putting in to practice. And we're going to honor that effort and each other with an Om on the exhale. Om. Good, so we're gonna sit over to the right and just swing your legs around, and you're gonna stamp your feet on the ground pretty wide apart, like mat width distance apart or wider, and do a few windshield wipers side to side, organically, knees one side, knees to the other. So we start to massage a little bit, the side of the gluteal, the hip, and you can pause anywhere that feels interesting. Good. And then when you come back to center, open your knees, bring your soles of feet together and take your hands in front of your shins. And when you inhale, lift your heart. And when you exhale, fold forward. As you fold, you can walk your hands forward any amount, let your chin drop toward your body. Feel the center of the heels and squeezing in toward each other. And there's a softening of the belly back toward the spine. And the breath fills the back ribs. One more inhale and exhale. Let it all the way out. And then sitting up tall, you're going to cross either shin and top, pull forward into a tabletop position. You're going to come into a tabletop position on all fours with the tops of feet flat. Push through the top of your left foot and extend your right leg straight back. Flex your foot. And then open your right hip, coming up onto your right fingers. Look over your right shoulder. I'm just going to lift the outer edge of that right foot a little bit. You're going to inhale, and when you exhale, roll that right hip point down, knee toward nose, step your right foot in between the hands. The right knee is over the heel, and you're just going to pause there, letting the top of that left foot melt into the floor. And you can look at your right foot, and you can stay there just for a moment, letting the hips sink down in this lizard lunge. Heel toe that right foot a little bit wider, if that's possible. Take your right arm to the inside of the right knee. So both hands are on the inside edge of that right foot. You can even bring your thumbs and your first fingers to touch, and you can let your tailbone wag a little bit. Explore that and stay. You can feel the connection of your right foot to the ground. We're going to inhale, look forward or up. When you exhale, you can come up onto tented fingers. You're going to tuck the back toes, lift the left thigh. Now start to straighten your right leg all the way. And you're going to fold over that right leg and walk your hands over to the right a little bit, wrapping that right hip crease all the way back and down toward the outer left heel. Good. And take a nice inhale, and then exhale, release. Let your left knee come down. Slide your right leg back. Take your knees really wide. Come into wide-legged child. Knees are wide, big toes touch. And you settle the hips back, melting the hips toward your heels. And let your forehead rest. And just let go for a moment. Good. And then come back up into tabletop. Tops of feet on the ground. Feel the top of that right foot connect. Extend your left leg straight back. Feel the gluteal of that left leg engage. Open your left hip. Come up to left tented fingers. Flex your left foot. Lift it a little. The outer edge of the left foot lifts a little as you inhale. Then you exhale. Roll your left hip down. Round your knee toward your face. Hoist your left foot in between your hands. You're going to want to slide your right knee back a little bit. If the right knee is tender, you can put a blanket or a cushion under the knee. You can stay here. Just hold and be with the sensation of the inner thigh groins. Feel the connection of that left femur into the hip. Then heel toe the left foot open. Take your left arm to the inside of the inseam from the knee to the heel. And you feel the inner left knee hug to the upper arm. The chin can melt, and we just stay for a moment, melting that right baby toe to the ground, spilling from the center of the sacrum around that right hip point down toward the earth. And any kind of gentle wagging back and forth is welcome, but not if that right knee feels too tender. Good. Now when you inhale, you take your fingers a little closer together, spread your chest, look up. When you exhale, tuck your back toes, lift your right thigh, straighten the front leg. So both the outer feet connect. You start to fold and walk your hands to the left a little bit. Melt over that left leg. Imagine your two sitting bones squeezing in toward each other as you wrap that outer left hip around and down toward the earth. And the back of the head relaxes. Parsvakonasana. You're finding the end of the exhale. And then drop your right knee to the ground and slide your left knee back. Take the knees wide, nice wide-legged child's. Let the forehead rest to the earth. Good. Now we're going to look between the hands and we're going to slide the right knee behind the right wrist, coming toward pigeon. Flex your right foot. Shake the tail again a little bit. If this is too much, you can always come onto your back and do figure 4 pose, where you lay on the back and cross your right ankle on top, and you can thread the needle and take that instead if that feels better today. Otherwise, we're going to be in this pigeon shape with the left leg extending back. And you start to come down to your forearms, and then you can rest your brow line on your hands or on a block. And just stay there for a moment. Left hip point moving toward the earth. Softening the belly. And just let your breath fill the area of the most sensation. And when you exhale, releasing any amount, whatever might be gripping. Eventually the forehead may rest on the ground. We don't want to stay too long because we don't want to let anything fall asleep. So we're going to press through the top of that left foot, drop the tail and start to sit up. And now you're going to shift over into that right thigh. Take your left hand around, swing your left leg around, and then you're going to take this kind of cradle. You take your right hand to the left foot, and then you wrap your left arm around. I made a mistake. You're going to wrap your right arm around to the sole of that right foot, and then interlace your hands in front of the left leg like you're cradling a baby. I messed up my right and left there for a moment. I'm just going to rock there. So that left sole of the foot is sort of stepping on the right bicep. And you rock and you rock and you rock. Good. And then you're going to go ahead and cross that left ankle with the foot flexed. Cross it on top of the right thigh. Let that left knee fall forward. And you can just sort of sit up tall. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, walk the hands forward, any amount to a fold. Taking this half fire log pose. Chin moving toward the body. Now, if it's too excruciating, you could always skip that part and just sit cross-legged for a moment. This can be pretty tight on the hip. Good. And just stay for a moment. See what might release or soften. And then walk the hands back. Uncross that left ankle. Step the left foot on the ground. And then swing that left leg around. So you come back through the pigeon shape. Tuck the back toes and let's come into a downward facing dog. We'll pedal out a little bit. And full inhale into the belly. And exhale, you can let it out. Nice. I'm going to come into plank, touch the knees down, take the feet flat, come into child's, hips to heels, soft wrists and elbows. And then on the inhale, slide that left knee forward behind the wrist, coming into pigeon. Remember, if it's too intense in pigeon, you can lay on the back and take figure 4 on the opposite side. Take your time to gradually make your way down. You can come down to the forearms, or you can rest your forehead on a block or the hands. Find a place you can be relaxed in your jaw and in your neck. Kapotasana, pigeon pose. In your mind's eye, notice the place where the femur connects to the pelvis and let the inhale fill that space with light. And when you exhale, any gripping or tension may be able to dissipate a little bit out into the rest of the body and out into the ether. So you're able to breathe, have the face relaxed. When we feel the top of that right foot connect, drop the tail and start to sit up. You're going to shift to the outer left thigh. Take your right hand around to the femur, the hamstring, the back of the hamstring, and swing that whole leg around, the right leg around. Now let's see if I can get my cues right on this side. So you're going to take your left arm and you're going to bring that right foot into the elbow crease. And then you wrap your right arm around and interlace the fingers so you're cradling and you rock. And you rock. And the shoulders are relaxed. And the eyes are soft. And you're breathing. Good. One more inhale. And when you exhale, you're going to lay that flexed right foot, the ankle, on the inner left thigh. Let that right knee fall forward. And then you can either sit up tall and just be there and be with that sensation in the right hip, or you start to walk the hands forward. And coming into any amount of forward fold, it's nice to keep the face relaxed. Let the chin move toward the body. 2 or 3 smooth breaths there. Letting the tailbone drop toward the earth and keeping a softness in the expression in the brow line. Good. Now, slowly drop the tail, sit up, take that right foot forward and step it on the floor, and then slide that right leg around, coming back through pigeon. Tuck the back toes, step back into downward facing dog. Find that long lower back and pedal out your feet. Let the head shake out. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, let it out your mouth. Come forward onto all fours. Swing the legs underneath. We're going to extend the legs out. Extend your arms out. Come all the way down onto your back. When you're on your back, step your feet on the floor. Feel the feet connect firmly. And then heel toe the feet a little wider. Rest your hands on your belly. Take a few windshield wipers side to side. And again, we're tuning into this place where the femur meets the body, the hip sockets. And if there's any perceivable sort of gripping or tension there, see about imagining some light, some space as you take this action. And then as the knees come back to center, gather the knees in, give a hug. One hand on each knee. Start to do some figure eights. Sort of swirling the femurs around in the hip, and you feel this softness in the ankle. And then as the knees come in, hug the legs towards you, and we'll take a full happy baby, elbows on insides of knees, hands on the outside edges of feet. One of my favorite ways to sort of cap off a practice with this evening out of the hips. Any rocking side to side is welcome. You can play with a little curl of the tail toward your face and letting the tip of the tail soften away from the chin. Just finding that middle place between two extremes. Soften your heart, your shoulders. And you can release and bring your feet together with the knees open just for a moment to that Supta Baddha Konasana, just for a moment, and then gather the knees in, step your feet on the floor, and knock your knees in to touch. Now it's nice to take the palms on the tops of the femur, on the tops of the quadricep, and push forward. As if you're massaging the quadriceps down toward the knees a couple times. And that sometimes can feel really spacious on the lower back. And then relax, let the palms face up, out to a T. And you can take your Shavasana here, or you can extend your legs out and find 2 or 3 breaths. And eyes are closing and relaxing. Now it's always nice to stay in Shavasana as long as you can, a few minutes, beneficial. Just to do nothing and give yourself permission to do nothing. And we'll take the hands onto the body. Find a gratitude practice for anything you're grateful for today that you can celebrate. And then go ahead and reach the arms overhead, take a long stretch. We're gonna find our way onto the left-hand side, hug the knees in, take a pause, rest on your side for a moment. And then when you're ready, come on up. If you weren't ready to come up, feel free to stay down in Shavasana. We're gonna make our way into a comfortable cross-legged seat. Bring your hands to heart center. Feel the palms press and give yourself some gratitude for showing up and practicing today. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Namaste.